Right now on WRAL, erasing the stigma surrounding mental health, how some local college students are supporting one another. Plus,
purchasing a home, the American dream, but sadly many just can't afford it. Coming up, we'll show you how one woman was able to accomplish that goal with a little help from the city of Raleigh.
Also, insulin prices have been on the rise in recent years. Coming up, how some companies are making sure diabetics get the proper dose at an affordable price.
Your #1 source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Mental health is top of mind for many students at NC State University right now after the deaths of 10 students this school year. The latest happening just this week. Good morning, I'm Jake Reyes.
And I'm Kasia Sari. Thanks for joining us. CBC-UNC Diversity Fellow Tyler Carmona spoke with students on campus about this staggering trend. He's live at NC State University with information about an event that aims to end the stigma around talking about mental health.
Kasia, while I was on campus, these students provided me with some valuable insight of what it's like to navigate mental health issues while taking college classes.
A year ago, Naomi Boedo lost her sister Jade to mental illness.
It was really a shock to my family when it happened, and mental health wasn't something that was ever really talked about within my family.
Naomi wants to change that. She wants people to talk about their mental health. So she and her organization at NC State will hold the 6th annual Outrace the Stigma event. It's a 5K run that donates to mental health awareness. This year's is dedicated to Jade.
I still have this image of my sister having the most beautiful smile on her face and always being ready to do whatever and jumping into an adventure head first.
The NC State community is also grieving 10 student deaths over the past academic year. At least 5 of them took their own lives.
It's kind of sad to know that maybe some of my classmates are going through something that I don't know.
The university's Mental Health Task Force released this report last month. The 89-page report analyzes students' mental health. Now, because of this report, the school has hired 8 more mental health counselors.
Throughout campus, students say their large course load and overall responsibilities can contribute to overwhelming stress.
You cry sometimes and you get angry sometimes, but I've found that confiding in my peers and really just talking about it really makes you feel better.
Boedo feels that the changes made by the university will help students better prioritize their mental health.
NC State has done a phenomenal job, in my opinion, of helping its students in the past few years.
The event will take place on April 2nd. All profits will go to the National Alliance of Mental Illness. Tyler Carmona for WRAL News.
Thanks, Tyler.
More than 30% of adults experience anxiety at some point in life. What if a simple blood test can measure your anxiety levels and risk? Researchers at Indiana University came up with a new blood test that can help doctors better match treatment options to individual patients. The test helps doctors identify molecules in a patient's blood that can help determine their risk of developing the condition. Doctors can also use the result to determine the severity of their anxiety and which therapies would likely give the best result.
We want to empower doctors and patients to have laboratory tests that they can use in primary care settings as part of their annual exams. It reduces the trial and error, the uncertainty that people go through in terms of being assessed, diagnosed, treated with the right medication.
Nicholas Q's Indianapolis-based company is offering blood tests for various mental health and memory conditions, but patients have to pay out of pocket. The company plans to seek Medicare and insurance coverage soon. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, dial 988. The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides free and confidential emotional support 24 hours a day.
Purchasing a home can be difficult for anyone, especially when it comes to finding one that is affordable. According to recent estimates, there are more than 42,000 burdened renters in the city of Raleigh. That accounts for nearly half of all renters. But the city has programs for first-time buyers as well as low-income homeowners. Fellow Bayla Walker spoke with a teacher who got some much-needed help. Bayla, walk us through the process.
Yeah, that's right, Kasia. Purchasing a home can be very difficult and very expensive, especially if you want to purchase homes like these here in the downtown Raleigh area. Back in 2017, the community started the affordable housing projects to help residents with these issues.
The kitchen area.
Jess Peacock set a goal.
Y'all is ready. the middle school teacher wanted to purchase her first home.
I think everybody knows what teachers make.
She moved in with her parents to save money. That's when a friend told her about the City of Raleigh's affordable housing program.
Affordable housing is a really key focus area of the city's strategic plan. So we've set out a goal to produce 5,700 affordable housing units by 2026.
The city not only works with builders, but they also help potential buyers with the process.
Participants are required to take financial literacy classes as part of the program.
So I've got stackable washer dryer.
Peacock also stayed in touch with builders involved in the process.
The buyer had fell through for a house, and I think like my persistence, he's like, I thought of you when this buyer fell through. Would you like to come take a look? I did not come take a look. I said, yes, I would like to buy the house.
Jess Peacock accomplished her goal. She bought her first home.
Yeah, you can visit raleighnc.gov/housing to get started. I'm Bayla Walker, WRAL News.
Bayla Walker, live in Raleigh. Thank you. The city of Raleigh is also stepping in to help a homeowner fix a giant sinkhole in Oakwood Historic Raleigh. The crater makes the home unlivable and forces the tenants to leave. The city of Raleigh put the repair at the top of their list, but a fix could take up to 18 months. The city is hoping to find a more permanent solution so that people can live in and enjoy this historic neighborhood.
Chapel Hill wants to eliminate all traffic-related injuries and deaths by 2031. You're looking at a live picture from our camera at the Top of the Hill restaurant in Chapel Hill. Vision Zero is the town's plan to pair education and enforcement for a truly shared road. According to traffic data, from 2016 to 2020, 3 people died and 5 suffered severe injuries while walking or biking in the town. Chapel Hill police say keeping people informed on street safety is key.
We do monthly focused patrol efforts for speed. We also do those for crosswalk initiatives as well, where we send officers to certain locations to monitor crosswalks to make sure that both drivers and pedestrians are obeying the law.
The town implemented Plan Vision Zero in 2021. Since then, there have been 2 deaths and 8 serious injuries in Chapel Hill.
House Democrats say former President Donald Trump and his family accepted gifts from foreign governments and did not notify the State Department. The new report says the gifts came from Saudi Arabia, Japan, India, China, and El Salvador. Lawmakers worry they may have been used to influence U.S. policy, but the report does not provide any specific evidence of that. Republican lawmakers across the aisle accused President Biden's family of accepting over $1 million from a Chinese company. Congressman James Comer shared new evidence of money sent to the president's son Hunter and to the widow of his late son Beau. The funds were traced to a Chinese energy company. Hunter's legal team says the payments were part of a joint venture.
One of the most popular national parks in America is ready to welcome guests. Severe winter storms shut down Yosemite Park for 3 weeks. Later, we'll tell you when you can plan your trip. Plus,
saying the price of insulin is getting out of hand. Coming up, I spoke with one woman about how it's affecting her life as a diabetic.
You're looking live at Durham and watching WRAL News, available on Hulu and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
A dramatic spike in the maternal death rate in the United States tops today's health news. An alarming new report from the CDC shows the number of women who died due to pregnancy or childbirth complications increased significantly in 2021. According to the report, deaths due to maternal causes rose to more than 1,200 people. That's nearly double the number than in 2018. Even more alarming, the death rate among Black women is more than twice that of white women. In other health news, salt substitutes can be an effective way to help lower your blood pressure and fight heart disease. But experts warn that overuse of certain salt substitutes or alternatives can be dangerous for some people. The sodium chloride in table salt can be bad for your heart, so some people look for an alternative. Although the substitutes don't have sodium chloride, they do contain potassium chloride. This mineral can be harmful for people with certain medical conditions such as diabetes.
Roughly 8.4 million Americans use insulin, but not everyone who needs it can afford it. Several manufacturers want to change that. CBC-UNC Diversity Fellow Camila Pereira is live in Raleigh with the overdue change in prices.
Well, Jake, with these price caps underway by early next year, doctors just hope that when patients go to pick up their medications at local pharmacies like this, they're not trying to ration it. Thrash is looking at her phone, checking her glucose levels.
I have to check my levels 4 to 5 times a day.
As a type 1 diabetic, she scans her levels from just about anywhere, like in her car at the grocery store.
Thank God for the Libre. I'm so glad that some scientists came up with that idea for the Libre, because I noticed that a lot of people, they just don't like poking their fingers. It does hurt.
A Libre is a glucose monitoring device some diabetics use, but it can be expensive. So a lot of people still check levels through other devices. However, the devices aren't the issue. The problem is when people come to pharmacies like this, they're paying 3 times as much for their insulin. Pharmaceutical companies like Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, and Sanofi plan to lower the cost of their insulin products by as much as 75%, hoping it discourages rationing and improves access and affordability. Chief of Endocrinology Dr. Janice Huang says rationing insulin can lead to long-term health complications, such as vision loss and nerve damage.
There have been many studies reported where if you allow people access to the medications that they need and get their diabetes under better control, downstream, there's huge savings to the whole healthcare system.
Before being properly diagnosed, Felicia Thrash says she almost lost her eyesight and was in and out of hospitals.
If you don't have the right amount of medicine, it will spiral your diabetes out of control.
Thrash says she is powering through.
I want to be able to see 80, 85, 90. And if I get my diabetes in control, I'll be able to see that age.
Something that will become easier as the price of insulin goes down. And Dr. Huang tells me it's more than just cutting the cost of insulin. Making sure that healthcare companies provide good and affordable health insurance to their patients can go a long way. So Camila Pereira, WRAL News.
Thank you, Camila.
An update from California coming up. All the snow that closed a national park is starting to melt. A progress report still ahead. Also,
and coming up, how tiny homes like this one are saving lives.
Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
a village of tiny homes can make a huge difference for people with mental illnesses. CBC-UNC Diversity Fellow Lauren Lennon visited this farmland to take us through an inclusive community.
That's right. Here in Pittsboro, affordable housing and mental health have come together to give us this, a tiny home, where the hope is not only to give people a chance to survive, but also a chance to thrive. Walk long enough down this dirt road, you'll find the farm at Penny Lane.
The farm is a non-stigmatizing place.
Farm director Tava Mahadevan says this is a place where people with mental illness can become healthier. Now, Mahadevan wants to take the next step. Which leads us to these homes, which are tiny in theory, but massive for people who need them.
What we are hoping to do is create this amazing public-private partnership to be able to build 15 tiny homes.
Mahadevan says the homes will be for people who have serious and persistent mental illness, living on a fixed income. Co-director and associate professor at the School of Social Work at UNC, Amy Blank Wilson, says having a place to live can change someone's life.
I feel the hope that this project brings to people, and it's contagious.
Hope kept Mahadevan afloat when he was forced to flee his native country, Sri Lanka, during an ethnic conflict.
Our home was attacked by a mob. We managed to escape by jumping from the second story.
To Mahadevan, this is much more than just a project.
Life-changing. It's clearly transformational for people. This could really transform overall mental health care. Or it'll play a big role, I think, if we can do this right.
The plan is for construction to wrap up by the fall, making 15 tiny homes available, 5 of which will be reserved for veterans. I'll send it back to you.
That was Lauren Lennon reporting.
Hey, Kasi, are you planning a trip to the Dreamville Festival in Raleigh?
I wish I could visit this amazing park, Dorothea Dix Park in Raleigh, but unfortunately, I did not snag a ticket before they sold out.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, for those of you who are, try taking the train. Music fans traveling to and from the Dreamville Festival in Raleigh on April 1st through the 2nd can save 25% on North Carolina by train tickets. With daily train services available from New York and Washington, D.C., and 7 additional stops between Charlotte and Raleigh. You can sit back, relax, and enjoy the trip. Upon arrival, Raleigh Union Station is just 2 miles away from Dix Park.
It's been 3 weeks since Yosemite National Park closed due to severe snow. Starting tomorrow, some areas of the park will reopen to the public. Limited services will be available Saturday between sunrise and sunset at Yosemite Valley. The park will open 24 hours a day starting Monday. Unfortunately, the National Park Service says campgrounds and hiking trails are still covered with snow. You can find these and more stories by the student journalists in the 2023 CBC-UNC Diversity Fellowship on WRAL.com. Search Fellowship.
Thank you for watching this special newscast produced by the fellows participating in the CBC-UNC Diversity Fellowship. I'm Jake Reyes.
And I'm Cassia Sari. Have a great day.